To all of you out there, love and light to you all. I greet you in the love that lights the truth as always. I am Celestial Earth, here in the fifth dimension, in the divine light of it all. And you see, I got my Blu-ray light. I see the blue light. All right, beam me up, Scotty. As I like to always say, beam me up. And I'm not talking about take me away from Earth, but beam me up, as in put me in light beams. All right, for those who don't know, I do live in the Florida area. That's my local area. So I don't know how many of you have heard about the Hard Rock Casino Cafe. Yeah, that's the light from that Hard Rock. That blue light is at the top of the guitar. So if you ever look that up, the blue, not blue light because the light changes, but tonight it's blue light, so I'm going to call it my Blu-ray light. But it's the Hard Rock Casino, and you can see it anywhere within a couple miles radius. I'm a little bit south of it, just outside of Hollywood. Ashe. So with that, greeting you always in the love that lights the truth. Happy Saturday. Happy new moon in Virgo. We in a window. I just did a video and posted it about the new moon, but this is our Saturday night live. So welcome to those who come in for the Saturday night live. We livin' and we vibing. And we're going to talk about unprocessing, processing some unprocessed emotions. That was something that was coming up. Um, with a couple of things that I've been noticing, with us paying attention to finding the seed of deception, things like that. Like, it's really important. I don't think a lot of people realize how important it is to process the emotions. If we really understand that we are energies, we're energy in motion, emotions that move through each and every one of us. So it's really important to process that to get us to the next timeline. That's how important it is. How important is it? How important do you want to quantum leap? How important do you want to expand your consciousness or tap into your next timeline or access the higher frequencies? It's all at the level that you choose to work with it in. And it is that important. The more that I look at, we can look at all these different things that's going on, right? We can look at all this knowledge. Ashe, peace, love, and light, divine greetings to you. We can look at all this. Welcome to the Blue Light Special. We can look at all this knowledge, which is, we're in the age of the knowing. And yes, there's a lot of knowledge out there. One of the shadows of the age of the knowing is just those of us who are going to be sharing information, taking information, giving information, yet doing nothing with that information. The most important thing we can do is to actually experience, through experience, do something with the information. It's not enough to just have the information and store it on a shelf or walk with it as a trophy to show what it is that we know. Guarantee everything that I'm talking to you about, everything that I tell you all about, is things that I am working through, have worked through, and will continue to work through in the dimensions of my soul. And every time you work through a level, you open another dimension, you open another door, you unfold your soul like a flower that ever unfolds. It is the beauty of the soul. Ashe. So the key to it, though, was some people would ask, well, what do I do? It has to do with processing your unhealed wounds, not just in this lifetime, but deep in your past lives. This is what the Halls of Amenti was really taking us that deep. The retrograde in Mercury with the retrograde in um, Chiron's retrograde that was bringing us the unhealed wounds. Chiron really works with us to bring forth unhealed wounds. And what animal is that? I don't know if y'all could hear that. Somebody got chickens clucking back there. It's a whole farm going on back there. Right? So even that, nothing is a coincidence. So even that, and the message in that is coming through off rip of what I'm getting is listening to the call of nature. Listening to the call of nature. How many of us are connecting with nature and listening to that communication that has opened up with 2D consciousness? that is going to help us expand into the fourth and fifth dimension of time if we can retrograde back, if we can retro back even dimensionally, so right, because remember, we're all moving through time, we're all consciousness moving through time, transiting through time space reality. So if we can retro back into 2D consciousness and truly honor what 2D consciousness is, which is nature, the call of nature, right? Which is really the plants and the elements, not so much the animation, as in like animals and ourselves. We represent 3D consciousness. But the animals are kind of like that in between, because they are the in between nature and us. So they are the expression, the call of nature, if you will. So how many of us are answering that call within our soul? This is what I'm hearing a lot of. There are things that we need to be working on. This is the aftermath of the halls of Amenti. What have you been doing in your soul? Because the paradigms are still shifting, and we're still sifting. And this is really to speak to a lot of spiritual people. I spoke to the spiritual teenagers. We are working on spiritual maturity. We have to come out of spiritual um, bypassing, standing by, and just allowing, or using affirmations and using spiritual cover ups. I have to speak to the truth of this. I have to be honest, because there's a lot of this going on, and a lot of people are mistaking themselves, right? And this is not doom or gloom. This is not to make anyone feel bad. This is spiritual awareness, to call to yourself, to check within yourself. Am I answering the call of nature? Am I stepping into what my soul came here to do? Am I truly unfolding? I came here for such a time as this. Am I moving through the dimensions in my own consciousness? Am I breaking the barriers that I need to break? And that is going to be simply put, is processing the unhealed emotions that you do not know are there. I'm not talking about the fluff. I'm not talking about the things that we see that are there. What I'm talking about is I'm asking us to look into our soul, into the unconscious and the subconscious aspects of our soul, to see what is laying there. What is it that we're not addressing? What is the repetitive thing that keeps happening and you keep finding yourself saying, this keeps happening to me? Well, that's because there is a pattern. That's because there is something there that you have not emotionally processed. And no matter what you say, no matter what you call it, you can say, well, I forgave so-and-so and I did this, and I did this act of greatness. No matter what you're doing on the outside, it's not about anything that you're doing on the outside. It's not about your religion. It's not about anything. I could say anything on the outside. It's not about how much money you got. None of this material stuff matters. Everything is a simple vibrational match. It is about you being in your true heart vibrations. What is the true heart vibrations saying in the vibrational match of the frequencies? Have you forgiven in the sense of giving love forward, and not just saying, oh, I forgive that person, but have you given love forward of yourself and of others? Do you find yourself criticizing yourself or others? These are things that we have to get through. And for the spiritual ones, it's good to know what we know. It's not good to bash others because they don't know it. It's not good to be spiritually peacocks, if you will, spiritually, cocky, and be happy, be proud, proud about what you know. Yes, but it's not to. There's a very fine line with being pride and being, I guess you could say, like show outs and show offs, or feeling that you're better than, or higher frequencies. It's really about doing what you need to do in your own soul, unpacking your own ish, right? Rather than looking at others and what they're not doing. If anything, using the example of what they're not doing to highlight to you what you should do, right? And say, okay, thank you for that reflection. I see that that's not what's showing up on their end, but what is it to me? What is it to thee? What is this mirror showing me? So that we can address the man in the mirror, right? How are we working with our egos, the misappropriated egos that are here to spin a narrative to help, to protect us? There's so much, and this is what I want to invite us into, and what we're looking at with the help of what's going on, even the help that we're getting, as I say, help that we're getting from our galactic family, our starseed family, our celestial family. All of this help that we're getting, it's not for us to be so spiritually caught up that we feel like something's gonna, like this light, like beam me up and take me away, beam me up and take me out of this physical realm. We are physical beings. We've chose to come and have this physical experience, um, through our soul, through our spirit. So we have to be grounded in the earth. We have to understand our physical existence through the emotional existence. That's what I want to say. I want us to really look at the emotions, because the emotions are that driving wheel. The emotional body, which is the sacral chakra is the emotional body, is that driving wheel in between the physical and the spiritual. It is the mobility of how information is coming and going through our emotions, through our feelings, that are indicators. So we have to find where we have stored up and have these hiding pockets of emotions. It's that serious. And I'm saying this because I want us to really understand it. No matter what you're doing, no matter how high level spiritual you call yourself being, that you maybe are helping others with other spiritual information. You may be very spiritually knowledgeable. However, if you are not applying, if there is no practical application in your own soul's journey, then it hinders you from passing that timeline, from passing that. It's like this invisible wall. You no matter what it is that you're doing, it's not going to just pass through. And you have some people that are passing through that know nothing about this spiritual information, because it's not about the spiritual knowledge as much as it is about the vibrational match. Ashe? So they could be just good character, good in character, good in nature, and they're evolving through their own dimensions of their soul by simply doing what needs to be done. And it could be the little things. They allow themselves to have true accountability. They find within themselves that they see themselves in some of the challenges that show up for them without even knowing any of the spiritual jargon that some of us may know. And they become a vibrational match and are able to shift into that timeline. This is what these times are showing us right now. Right? And we're preparing for what is to come in November. Is going to be a lot going on with all these retrogrades, all these planets that are going to be in retrograde around November. More planets that are in retrograde right now. Right? Mercury just went back direct. But in November, there's going to be a lot of retro. So what are you going to retro about? How are you going to go in the depths of your soul and go real deep? Whether it's childhood stuff, past life stuff. And what we really are being asked to do is to go to the, bring it back to me, Spirit, the seed of deception. Because some of us may feel like, well, I've been facing this. I've been, acknowledging this. But you probably haven't got it up at its root. You probably haven't gotten to the seed of this deception. Right? You might have been working on a particular deception or distortion, illusion in your life. But if you haven't gotten to the seed, it will keep sprouting and sprouting and sprouting. It's like when Hercules cut off the head of the dragon, it just kept growing another head and growing another head. You could be as strong as Hercules, as mighty as Hercules in your mind and in your soul, and that type of light warrior, light warrior that is just chopping the head, and it keeps growing because you have not got it at the seed of its deception. And that's why it was important with the halls of Amenti to go that deep when we were in that gateway, to go that deep with the Mercury. The Mercury taking us that deep. Mercury that has to do with travel in its retrograde is taking us deep into travel, deep into our soul, into our bloodline, our energetic bloodline, because it's deep in our soul, meaning it's written in our codes, it's written in the DNA activation, soul ascension. So this is a time that is really calling us forth to go that deep, to unlock the codes, get into the secret part compartments. That's why I do the workshop, speaking of which, and I mentioned it in the other video, and I put the link in the video that I did right before this, so you can go to that video. If you're interested, the next workshop is going to be with the next full moon, which is eclipse. We're entering into eclipse season, and this is going to be the last full moon workshop that I have before November. So if you're looking to tap into that soul, I'm telling you that this is one of those workshops for those who this calls to, for those who feel the call on their soul or feel the changes and are searching for what that part of them in their soul, what is it you're looking for? How to unlock your soul code is by doing this type of shadow work, utilizing your energy centers, which we do, which are doorways to your soul. Your chakras are not just something outside of you. Ashe. So each one that you work through, you tapping into a consciousness. You know, not many people want to tap into that, because a lot of people just want to get into the spiritual show business and want to be on stage and not really, you know, do the work. And it's not a hit out, but this is a call out for those to take a deeper look. Ashe, ashe. Like what I have to do, take a deeper look. There are changes that are happening. Finding the root of deception is not easy, but it is. Like I always say, it's not really hard to do the spiritually correct things with discipline. It's not difficult. It's only difficult for those who don't want to do the simple things. The simple things are your blessings. And that's a song. And it's as simple as that. It's tapping in and being obedient, being vigilant. This is a time to be vigilant, diligent, and obedient. Those three right there. And disciplined, 4. If you lack the discipline, no matter how much you know, you will not grow and it will not show. So I say this to beckon onto us, to be the beacon of light, and to beckon onto us, to allow yourself to open the soul codes. Don't be afraid to sign up when you hear things like this workshop, or you may watch another video and you hear someone, because I hear there are different services being offered right now. And we really got to take heed and stop just idly standing by, being a spiritual, you know, bystander as well. Just idly standing by and saying, oh, okay, that sounds nice. Oh, yeah, that's good. We have to get in there, roll up our sleeves, look to get to the seed of deception, look to unlock the wisdom that is really unleashing its essence right now. And that's something I want to definitely do a video about, speaking more about that, this wisdom, this discernment that is unlocking. And we're being asked to allow even this stage right here, this Virgo, which is about organization, to unlock the discernment, to allow the wisdom to come through. And I want to speak about this wisdom because a lot of people are just looking at it like this wisdom is just something that, I don't know, comes like, I'm looking for wisdom to be wise. And it's like, I'm going to say this again in a video, but I want to say it here. I feel like Spirit is like, yes, say it here. The wisdom to know the difference doesn't just mean I'm wise enough to see that over there. Oh, I can see that that's evil or that's wicked or that's bad, whatever it is you want to call it. It is having the wisdom to know what is not good, what is of evil. Like I said, we're not here to fight evil, we're here to know evil, to know. And the wisdom, the discernment to know evil while it is wrapped in the suit of an angel. Let me say that again. The wisdom to know evil while it is wrapped in an angel's costume, while it comes across as a smile. And this is the warning. This is the way it was coming to me. And for those who have ears to hear, please take heed. This wisdom is asking us to not fall for the sad stories. You may seem very cold-hearted right now during these times. I'm speaking to my spiritual ups right now. The next level that it's calling on us to do is to not have pity parties with anyone. Do not let anyone come to you with their sad stories, right? And to those who are smiling in your faces, do you have the wisdom to see through that smile, to see through those kind words that that is evil, meaning it is opposition? And I'm not saying evil so that we can gear ourselves up to fight it. It's just to have discernment to see that it is evil. Therefore, they may be an NPC. They may be a snatched soul that is only working with the parasitic energy and the opposition energy to be a challenge to you, to distract you, to be your test of faith, to see if you will be distracted, to siphon your light, to feed off of your light. This is very serious. And I'm going to do a separate video specifically talking about it, but I feel guided to also be sharing it right now in the live with you. And I know some may not want to hear that. Many may not want to hear that. But this is what's happening with the energies right now. As the more, like what's happening, if I could explain it, is the more light that is pouring in right now, which is more, there's more light. Things are happening at an accelerated pace as more light is being poured into the planet right now. And it is kicking up all of this dark matter, what I call dark matter chatter, dark matter energy, the desperate energies that are willing to do desperate things, very desperate, because they see the intensities of the light that's turning over. They see what's happening. So they're utilizing these times right now. They're going to exploit what the celestial bodies and the cosmos are here to bring up and highlight through to us through cosmic retrogrades in time. It's going to want to exploit that to distract our minds, to deter our soul's journey, to have us fall back and say, see, this is, to just to be in grief, to pull us back into grief, to pull us back into guilt, all of these lower vibrations. This is what you're going to be tugged on now. So be careful of who you're sympathizing with. As I always say, I don't sympathize with anybody's demons, anybody's unhealed wounds, which are the demons. Their demons are unhealed wounds. If you have any unhealed wounds, you have demons, because that is how the parasitic energy operates through you. That is the deception, the great deception, the great assimilation, the demiurge that gives way for archon energy, that gives way for non-participating characters, the NPCs, to ravish through our lives if you let them. The way to quicken yourself to it is to know thyself and to know evil. Just know it, because you quicken yourself when you know it. You can say, oh, I see you. You don't even have to tell them. You just need to know so you can see it for yourself. It wants you to recognize it. The energies want you to recognize it, because that is true experience in time, of time, within time, however you look at it. And when you have that experience of knowing through experience, you practice. You make a decision and you practice walking in truth. You practice doing something different that engages truth. Ashe. So I invite us to really see this shift in time, this window that we're in. Today's that new moon in Virgo. We have another one in the same month at the end. There's a window of organization. There's a window that we're looking at right now. We're getting a concentrated look into our south node that is in Virgo to look at things that no longer service us. Virgo being about service. What are things that are not of true service? Things that you've once believed in. We're taking a second look at it and saying, you know what? That's not of true service. Let's organize this. Let's put this in the right compartment. They may be professing to be taking care of sick in the medical field, but you're going to see that there's no true service there. That it is all about money and control, and more so control than money, which both are an illusion. Money is an illusion, control is an illusion, because this is about being in sovereignty, in soul sovereignty. You need no one to control you. And if those elites weren't in so much lack and limitations and being the orchestrators, being busy being the orchestrators of fear, they would see that they don't have to control anything either, right? That we can all coexist in the unity frequency, in the love frequency. These are the illusions that we're breaking. This is what it's going to take for us to put, on our crowns. Adorn your crowns with this awareness that we don't need any of these distractions. Be very sharp with those that come around you, especially with a sad story. I know it's going to feel mean, but you're going to have to give a tough no. Discern, be able to see when the energy is not going to be so obvious, it's not going to be so overt, it's going to be very covert. This is the narcissistic film that is over the planet, operating through that dark matter, put it that way. That's very narcissistic, and it is just what it is, and we have to be willing to look at those energies and see, hey, this is what you coming to do. It's coming like this, like, oh, can you help me? You gotta, don't be the martyr. Don't want to be the hero. Yes, I can help. The question is, should I help? Is it my place to be helping? Or is this another distraction? Do you see the energy that's behind it? And you're going to have to make the tough decision to say, hey, this has nothing to do with me. I won't be able to help you with that right now. Be mindful of who you sit with and lend your ears to. All of these make a difference. So being able to discern evil, being able to utilize wisdom, and this is what we got out of that Halls of Amenti when we were talking about the demiurge and the, not that just came up, but it's coming up as the divine feminine energy is still pouring in, and it's releasing the essence of Sophia, the return and the rise of Sophia from the ashes that is rising, and that Sophia is the wisdom, the discernment. So now we are being equipped with having the ability to discern, to know evil. You're supposed to take from that tree. You're supposed to take from that tree of good and evil, because you need to know evil so you cannot be subdued or tricked by evil. If you don't know it, how can you withstand it? How can you make sure that you're not being a part of it if you don't know it? So this is a part where we get to really express that wisdom of knowing thyself, knowing evil, and then being able to process unprocessed emotions when you allow yourself to just feel. Allow yourself to be, allow yourself to feel so that you can know yourself. Remove any denials. Remove anything that says, I don't know what this is. The moment you say, I don't know, you're doing yourself a disservice. And you're not being in the receptive capacity and allowing yourself to get to know, to get her. Remember, to get her is to go and get her the wisdom. Get it together to go get her. Ashe? So that's what I have to share on processing. This is what is coming up with this new moon. Take the time, if you can, to look at what it is that you need to release. Do any type of fasting or detoxing if you can within this week, maybe if even for 3 days. Really go within your soul. See if there's a certain part of your, a clutter part in your house that you can clear out. I'm just throwing things out there like I did in the previous video, just to kind of see, you know, what it is that you could be doing intentionally to move this energy or move with this energy within this new moon energy and maximize the most that you can get out of it. You know, releasing what needs to be released and being prepared to reset something. Set an intention for how you're going to show up in organizing and seeing clarity come through more by preparation of organization. And we're going to be seeing a lot of that as, you know, with Virgo, we want to look more towards what needs to be organized. Don't over control. We want to move away from control, move away, shattering control and perfectionism. Knowing that you are perfect. You know, we are already perfect imperfections, right? Or imperfect perfections, however you choose to look at it. And knowing that we strive for perfection all the time, but it doesn't mean we have to be in our ego through fear. That's what happens when we want to control. We're in our ego through fear to be perfect, to operate through perfection, chasing this perfection, and through this form of control. And this is what we want to shatter and what we want to deal with while we're in Virgo. These are the shadows of Virgo that we want to get rid of. Move away from services that are not really services. Recognize that this is not a service. This relationship is not a service. It's not servicing you. The service that you think you're getting is not true. The job, the relationship, whatever it is that you feel like is servicing you, something that you believe in, politics, is not here to service you. These are all traps within the trade, traps within the demiurge that are working as archons and archonic energy, if you will. So we have to really sharpen our skills. Be open, open your heart. Get into your heart chakra. Remove condemnation and judgment and avoiding being overly critical. That's another thing, right? These are things I'm all looking into now. I got a lot of placements in Virgo, so this is my time. I don't know about anybody else. But this is my time to shine my Virgo season on with the placements that I have and looking at where to pull away from, you know, the temptation of being overly critical of self and of others, right? And this is something I've already been working on, but we can always look into it a little bit more. Where am I showing up as this may be critical? This may be too harsh, overly criticizing myself. Relax, rest so that you can reflect, elevate, shift, and transcend. This is what we are looking to do now. So find that rest when you can find that rest. Find your strength in love. Find the love frequency and stand firmly with true discipline under the principles of truth right now. Take the time. Women, if you can, work in groups of threes. There's a sacred trinity that you can work in and commit to that and dedicate to that. If you can find a sisterhood community women specifically, because they're going to help to unlock the keys. They're going to unlock the memory keys to find the balance in the masculine energy, not just within the males, but the masculine energy within ourselves. But this is going to help the collective. If you can find a sisterhood community to do that with, Sacred Trinity, sets of 3. And if you can, make a commitment where you can get together, you can do some grounding, you can set intentions, not just for you individually, but for the collective and for humanity, to help shift this, to help open the floodgates of this feminine energy as receptive activity, which is the wisdom and the Sophia archetype energy, to allow that essence to just expand and allow more wisdom to be pouring into the planet, allow more people to be able to tap into utilizing this wisdom, not just talking about it, not just intellectualizing about what it is. Yes, we know what the definition of wisdom is, but how many of us are actively, proactively using wisdom in its right degree? Ashe? So I invite us to get into that. This is the works that we're being called to do. I'm specifically speaking to those light bodies. We got work to do, light warriors. And this is how we're going to be able to be conduits, positive conduits of this light, channeling this light, quantum leaping, being a vibrational match. And this is what it's going to take. There's not going to be any hiding. There's nothing hid from the heat thereof. Psalms 19. Nothing hid from the heat thereof. So we have to get in front of it, get before it. So you can tell that evil when you see it. Get behind me, Satan. I see you, demiurge. I see you, soul snatcher. I see you, NPCs. Do what you do. I understand that this is a part of the simulation. Do what you do, but I see you. And that's all you got to do. See it, recognize it, to restore it, and to release it, to bring forth restoration, to reclaim who you are. Recognize, to reclaim and remember, and release. And that's how we're going to explore, expand, elevate, evolve, and ascend. Ashe? So, faithfully, that was able to shed some light on it with you this beautiful new moon night. Thank you for those of you who tuned in, who came in and spent some time with me for this new moon. Ashe, ashe, ashe. And do your new moon work that solidifies what you need to do for you. Seek on whatever it is. And then as the sun rises, get you some water, speak to that water, bless that water, and drink that water with the new set intentions. Ashe. So with that said, love you all. It was a beautiful Saturday night live, living it up with you. Saturday night. Oh, and our light went, oh, I think I still see it right there, just faintly. Faintly. We got our little blue light. So thank you for being in our blue light special, our Blu-ray light. Beam me up. Get the beams of light coming on you. Be true to you and all that you do. Let it ring true, through and through. Ashe. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out. And be the candle that lights the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Peace, love, and light.